Yeah, Coach. Mr. Schoen's out again. Just from a human point of view, how difficult it is to watch this transpire from a guy who wants to be out there helping his team.
Yeah, it is tough. I'll just go a little bit deeper into that. So, in that first Calgary game, he suffered an ACL injury again. And, the decision he made is one that other guys make. They just want to play for their teammates and they want to lay it on the line for them. And he worked his ass off to get back in a position to try and do that. It just didn't work out. And the difference between him doing it and a lot of other guys doing it is, his injury is a lot tougher to overcome, and especially in the job he's asked to do. So, a tremendous effort, and once again, it just goes to show you, the sacrifice that these guys make for their teammates, right? The desire for them to do everything they can to help their team win, and then sometimes it just doesn't work out. So from a human side, it stinks, right? I mean, his teammates understand what he was trying to do, and who he was trying to do it for, and it's just not going to work out.
Yeah, because Nick says they love football, but sometimes football doesn't love you back.
That is very accurate.
Yeah. Just last one for me. Pokey's in this week. Just kind of talk about his ability to ingest, a number of plays where you feel comfortable throwing him out there.
Yeah, I think there's a high degree of trust built from last season, between him and Zach and the offense. So, you're sort of looking at it for the minutia, and he steps in one play, you're like, oh, looks like he's been here all camp. So I'm not saying there won't be a moment in time where somebody has to remind him of something, but that's, I think, every player, especially if you're only X number of years in. But he looks really good. He's obviously an explosive guy. He punches above his weight class. He doesn't mind making the tough catches. He's a good football player.
When you say Schoen re-injured his ACL, is that the same level as the first time against Calgary? Like, are you...
As last year, you're talking about?
Well, you were saying he injured...
In the first Calgary game, he re-injured his ACL. Yep.
Yeah, and so he's re-injured it again.
That's what re-injured, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So are you expecting him to be out for a lengthy
I expect him
period?
to be out for the season.
Out for the season?
Yep. Once again, the effort he put in to not have this be the outcome was second to none, right? But it's not going to work out for him. Not for lack of trying, that's for sure.
I mean, his first 2 years in this league were absolutely sensational. And this year and now last year, it's been, obviously not his fault, but these injuries keep happening, obviously. I know you kind of touched on it, but just how kind of heartbreaking is it that, these past 2 seasons he's had to keep kind of going through this injury concern?
I mean, I think I've stood up here enough and talked about that on a personal level. It can crush guys, right? But he's a strong person. Otherwise, this conversation might have happened after week 4, right? So you do feel bad for the person, and he's gonna, just the type of guy he is, he's gonna bust his ass to get back and play good football again. But I certainly don't compound the issue by looking at last year, right? I look at how he was coming into the season and what he was going to do and what he planned to do and how hard he'd worked. And once again, it stinks for him.
Just how ready is Pokey? Obviously, he's just been here for a week. Is it, kind of just a necessity that you guys are obviously banged up at the spot, so you kind of have to play him, or do you feel...
No, we have other players in the building that can play too. This is not once again, he stepped on the field, and within a play, you realize that he just second nature. He didn't really forget anything. Did he have to learn a new language very quickly? Yes. But he's a hell of a player. He proved that last year too.
What does he add to this offense?
Well, like I said, he's explosive and he's tough, catches the ball real well, and has a high degree of trust from the quarterback spot.
Could he have played if this was last week's game on the road in a loud crowd and you wouldn't be able to get maybe that man-to-man communication that he might need?
Well, we didn't have to answer that question because he didn't get here until
I'm
after the
just-
game. So,
I'm just curious. That the quiet home crowd would be
Yeah.
is probably beneficial.
yeah, I tend to bet on players, so why not? I'll say yes.
Yeah.
But you're asking me a question that doesn't need to be answered, right?
Having Colin Cornelison available to come back and jump right back into the lineup, but what does that mean for the club?
Yeah, when the business takes hold and you have to let a guy go that everybody really likes and he does well and he played a bunch of games for us to start the season, and once again, those aren't conversations you like to have. In that same breath, and it sounds really odd, you're telling a guy that you can't use him right now, but be ready just in case, and it's like so oxymoronic, right? Oh, you want me to be ready, but you don't need me. And sure enough, we'll give him a call, and thankfully he's still available. But I believed we were going to see him again at some point.
Yeah. And that he's not. I mean, there are a ton of athletes ready to jump into the biggest regular season game of the year, the Banjo Bowl, like off the street.
It's
Let's
the
go.
biggest game because it's right now.
I just think from the grand perspective of all the regular season games, this is the one I love the most.
For sure. Players like it too, but they like the one before and they'll like the next one too. So,
Reddick Cramdy returning. What does that do for you?
well, he's once again, we said it. I'll say it again. He's exceptionally smart. He's an excellent communicator. He sees the game extremely well, and he certainly makes the players around him better. So that's obviously a lift.
And then just one final one. Jaden Woodby made his debut. He's back on. What did you make of Jaden, and what do you expect from him tomorrow?
Yeah, expect him to get better. I thought he did really well in some aspects, and then there's some young player stuff that comes out, but you expect that. You know what's going to happen. You try to coach those points before they happen, and invariably you're going to get a mistake or something. But in terms of the speed at which he played at, his tackling ability, his physicality, that all showed through. I think he'll obviously, you think you're in shape, but when you step on the field in that first game, you realize, but the second game is never as hard as the first in terms of catching your breath. You know, the adrenaline's going so much in your first game. It just feels different once you step on the field in the second game. There's just that much more comfort level, and I think he'll experience the same thing. I think he'll be very comfortable, and he's still going to bring that physicality, that speed through tackles, all that stuff, and I think he'll be a couple steps better on every play.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, Ed. How you doing?
Good. Just a quick one on the back-to-back and the chess match sort of thing. How much of it is kind of balancing, well, we did this last week, so we better not do this week, and we don't want to show them this, but we better show them something, like that whole thing, or can you overthink all this?
Yeah, both teams are going to do anything they need to do to win. You know, that's the bottom line. And you do that whether you're playing them the first time or not. Do teams hold things back? I think if you've got a longer week before, part of your preparation includes extra plays, extra thoughts, because then you're on a short week, so you would have already practiced some of it if you want to use it. But there's always going to be a wrinkle, and there's always going to be your base stuff that both teams rely on. So I think it's pretty normal to see a couple things new, but to also understand what each team is really built for.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.